What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Miles Teller, and today we're going to be using a video game called Ready or Not to talk about some of the most common mistakes that can get you or hostages killed in close quarters battle. Ready or Not is a tactical shooter that is extremely realistic by all modern standards. There are civilians mixed into the battlefield. There are enemies who fake surrender and then pull weapons on you. There's lethal and non-lethal means of creating calm in a chaotic situation, and it's overall extremely challenging. Several days ago, I posted a video to my channel featuring a relatively smooth run with some buddies and I. I said I was going to come back and talk about the one scene that went extremely wrong and use it as a teaching opportunity to explain, using my trusty whiteboard, exactly what went wrong and what we could have done to improve it. The things we're going to hit today are battlefield visualization and leader placement, the benefits and the risks associated with a simultaneous breach, over penetration while conducting dynamic entry in Battle Drill 6, and being cognizant of hot walls and the repercussions of being out of position when you're forced to fire into one. Take a look at the clip. If you enjoy this game, it's available for sale over on my game store at nexus.gg/controlledpairsgaming. That is linked down below. We're going to watch the clip all the way through, then I'm going to break it down and we'll watch it again. Here we go.
Yeah, got one door into computer analysis.
Okay, we can go Simo breach into computer analysis. Let's go explosive. We've got double doors here in the hallway. You guys go explosive on that. I've got a bang prep for the hallway breach.
We're good in the doubles.
All right.
Do I have a bang for
It's
computer?
right door. Right door is gonna blast.
Can I get a bang my side?
Yeah. Grover, is that you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll toss it in there.
Okay.
All right, prep bangs. I have control. Breaching in 3, 2, 1. Breach. Chase him.
Chase me.
Compliant. Front.
We're on your right side.
I got the right door. Watch that left door.
Stepping. Hey,
Got
you
it.
got one +1 contact. Surrender.
We are opposite side that door, guys. That's a hot wall.
Open the door. Clear space. Clear space.
Hot
clear
wall.
Space,
Hot wall. Hot wall. Oh, you almost diced the civilian.
clear space.
Hey, friendly. You got
Wrapping
one
them up.
suspect.
Secured and ready for trailers.
So the scenario starts with what I'm calling Assault 1 and Assault 2 external to a portion of the building that is identified as computer analysis. There's signs outside of the room saying computer analysis. So I'm the overall squad leader, and I ask that both of my teams conduct a simultaneous breach into that space. And I came to this realization by using a technique called battlefield visualization. It's a very fancy doctrinal term that just means trying to picture in your mind's eye from a top-down perspective exactly what the battlefield looks like from a terrain and a geographic and a geometry perspective, as well as where all your friendly forces are arrayed within that terrain and where bad guys might be within that terrain. So having conducted battlefield visualization, I saw that Assault 1 had a breach right here and Assault 2 had a breach right here. If they enter at this breach and Assault 2 enters at this breach, we would immediately be able to have formed an L in this structure. And on this channel, we talk every once in a while about the benefits of forming an L against the enemy. It allows you to have both frontal and flanking fires simultaneously. It opens up sectors of fire, allows you to rapidly dominate a space. It works in CQB, certainly works in open field combat or in the woods or what have you. So I saw an opportunity to achieve that. Plus, we're playing a video game. It's fun to blow simultaneous explosive charges and put it on the internet for everybody to enjoy. But having conducted battlefield visualization, that's the assessment I made, and that's the decision that we made to do. And there's a lot of other errors in here that we're not going to talk about specifically. The decision to go explosive internal to the structure, not seeking cover around the corner, spending too much time standing in front of doors. I'm looking at the big picture stuff and major concepts because I think that's the most valuable to share from an entertainment and an information perspective. And I'm not going to talk about some of those specifics, though we may do that in future videos if you guys like this format. So having conducted battlefield visualization, I then had to consider where I place myself. So I had an idea from top down what the battlefield looked like, but I needed to get better eyes on. So a leader should position themselves where they can control as best they can their maneuver and their support element, or be as close to a point of friction as possible. Point of friction just means an area where you might predict a struggle or confusion or a major decision must be made. The leader should be in a position to best affect the outcome of the battle. It's rather subjective. In this case, based off of the information that we had available, I assessed that the best location that I could be in to make decisions was right here on this corner. This corner allowed me to see this team working the breach into the computer analysis area, and it also allowed me to see this team working the breach into a computer analysis area. Leader placement is important regardless of what type of conflict you might find yourself in. It's equally important in the civilian world, in managerial positions, and for supervisors to put themselves at a place where they can best maneuver their team and lead. So having conducted battlefield visualization and put myself at a location where I could observe both problems, we then proceeded to execute a simultaneous explosive breach into both of these doors and enter the structure. Simultaneous breach can be dangerous. It's dangerous because you have friendlies rapidly moving into the same area at the same time. Target identification, positive identification is already extremely difficult in CQB. If you only have one maneuver element and they're rapidly moving into a structure, there's smoke, there's gunfire, they might be under nods, there's women and children screaming, and there's a bad guy trying to kill you, it's very difficult sometimes to pick out what's a shoot target, what's a no-shoot target. And in the chaos of a simultaneous breach into this kind of a structure, it could be very difficult for us to identify what is our target and what's beyond our target, what's left and right and short of our target, and it could result in fratricide or friendly fire. But it's a video game, and we wanted that badass explosion, we wanted the smoke, and we wanted to get the L that I talked about already. So that's some of the pros and cons of simultaneous breach. Well, some of the pros are that you're presenting a major dilemma for the enemy. So any enemy that might be in this large structure now has to contend with two entry teams coming into the structure at the same time. It's going to be more difficult for them to make decisions, certainly going to be more difficult for them to effectively engage the bulk of our team. And we're entering with a lot of violence of action. We talk a lot about the principles or the fundamentals of CQB being speed, surprise, and violence of action. A simultaneous explosive breach and major entry of a squad size element into a small space is a very violent thing to accomplish. It's a very violent action to take, and something that would be absolutely shocking for an enemy that might be in that room. The next issue we saw was over-penetration. So we did battlefield visualization. I put myself in the right place. We made the decision. We blew the doors. We throw the flashbangs. And it turns out that my battlefield visualization was flawed. And the vision I had of making that L inside of the target room was incorrect. Because rather than this being an open space, and we assumed it to be an open space because on the walls outside the sign said computer analysis on both breaches. So we thought that was just one large open space. But in reality, this is a hallway that extended all the way down to the end of the hall, separating my assault team from the adjacent assault team. And more than that, there was also a door that was separating us. So now there's a breach where an enemy could potentially flow through. There's a breach where a friendly could potentially emerge from and end up being engaged by friendly fire. And we're unable to identify exactly where friendlies are in the adjacent structure. So instead of getting that L, we have a no-shoot target in the deep corner of the Assault 2 hallway. And then I actually never got a great picture of what was in the Assault 1 structure, but we know for sure that there was at least one shoot target in the deep right corner somewhere in here. I also don't know exactly what Assault 2 did upon entry. My assumption is they executed a dynamic entry in Battle Drill 6, which would put them in a formation that looks something like this. On the other side of the hallway, my team ended up going deep. They saw these doors as the greatest threat area, and they pushed directly to them to secure them, which under most circumstances is absolutely the right move. And so my assaulters ended up right here, pulling security on this door, also watching this no-shoot target, making sure she was in fact a no-shoot. The other assaulter ended up right here, pulling security on this door, should any enemy in this structure squirt out of that and into the hallway. I held back to observe the situation and best understand what was happening. As soon as I saw that there was a wall separating the two teams, I acknowledged that it was a dangerous situation, and I called to the other assault element that there was a hot wall separating us, meaning that fires oriented towards my team may penetrate the wall and inflict damage on friendlies on the far side. It's a hot wall. In reality, having seen these two threats and a wall separating us, the right move would have been for my team to immediately call hold short, and choke up either to the breach itself or only take a few steps into it and lock down the hallway, allow the adjacent clearance to occur before moving forward. And the consequences of what we saw was indeed either this man or this man taking a shot across the room and narrowly missing one of our assaulters, as well as putting rounds directly over the head of the no-shoot in the corner. Guys, this is a quick breakdown of the value of battlefield visualization, leader placement, simultaneous breach, overpenetration, and the effects of hot walls in close quarters battle, using a video game to describe it. If you guys are interested in this kind of content, you like people playing tactical games with a little bit of experience, a little bit of background to inform how they go about doing it, I'd invite you to subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. I'm going to play the clip back in its entirety for you guys to enjoy now before we roll the credits. Think about everything on the board while you watch it.
Okay.
All right, prep bangs. I have control. Breaching in 3, 2, 1. Breach, breach, breach. Chase him.
Chase him.
Complaint. Front.
We're on your right side.
I got the right door. Watch that left
We're
door.
stepping. Hey,
Got
you
it.
got 1 +1 contact. Surrender.
We are opposite
Around the
side that
right
door,
side.
guys. That's a hot wall.
Open the door. Clear space. Clear space.
Hot
clear
wall.
Space.
Hot wall, hot wall. Oh, you almost diced the civilian.
Clear space.
Hey, friendly. You got
Wrapping
one
him up.
suspect immediate close.
Secured and ready for trailers.
This is what I have.